For all those people who like my really long intros, prepare to be disappointed. I'm working on a lot of projects in my spare time, and I thought I would share some with you because I think some of them are pretty cool. So let's get started. Here I have my Nerf Stribolt project. You're probably wondering what a Stribolt is. That's basically where you take a Nerf stripe and combine it with a crossbolt. I'll have pictures up here in the corner. This is a kind of a mod that's called a integration because you're literally integrating the back of a crossbolt into a stripe. So basically you're combining two blasters into one blaster to make them better. I did this with a casting resin and managed to, I initially glued them with some contact cement, which didn't turn out so well, and then put some casting resin on it, which is all the white stuff that you see all over this thing here. So, and so the basic idea is to make this so that it turns out pretty smooth-ish. I say smooth-ish because of the fact that mine has turned out not so great because this is my first integration project, and the two shells kind of fit together kind of wonky with the way I did it, so it ended up a little funny, but I do like it. It's not straight on any axes. You can tell probably from the side here, it's drooping down a little bit and it's crooked and stuff like that. So you're probably wondering what's next for this blaster, because this obviously isn't done. I'll make a separate video when I actually finish this, but the idea is I need to rewire the internal, but also I need to paint this thing, which I'll be doing before I rewire it because of the way that because in order to paint it, you have to take all the wiring anyway, so might as well take it all out, paint it, and then rewire it later. That'll be pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. So you're probably wondering also kind of what's the main reason for doing this, other than the obvious point that it looks freaking sweet. The main reason to do this from a practicality standpoint is the fact that the crossbolt is a bullpup type blaster, which means that it has a magazine in the rear of it as opposed to in the middle like this one does, like the stripe here does. And the main reason to do that is to make it so that you can carry two magazines at once. Up next, I have my currently tabled Rapid Strike Uzi project. So basically the gist of what this is it's basically a Rapid Strike, which I have here. This is a Rapid Strike, and this is the Uzi. Basically it's just where I chopped off the barrel and the stock and made it so it's a much more compact, much lighter device. This has actually got some decent heft to it. So basically this is pretty light. It's basically just got all the internals that it actually needs to work, and I would eventually end up wiring it up to this AA battery tray, which would just sit right there or something like that. And it turned out pretty well. The cuts were pretty straight, unlike my Stribolt project, probably because of the fact that I actually planned it and actually drew them out and measured it and stuff like that, and basically took the proper pre-planning to actually make it look good. It does need some sanding and stuff like that, but there's no point doing that if it doesn't work. Which is the problem I have currently with it is electronically, I've got it wired correctly according to various guides that I've looked at, and everything seems to be correct, but for some reason it just does not work. I've had it where sometimes it does work in certain modes of how the switches and stuff like that work, but then in standard mode, which is put together like this, it does not work for some weird reason. But what I did end up doing that was actually kind of successful is the internal modifications to this thing, where I took out all the resistors and locks to basically prevent it from being fired when the jam door's open or there's not a magazine inserted and stuff like that. So it should, if I ever get the problem figured out, it should work pretty well, and it'll be pretty cool. And I'm pretty excited because it'll be faster than the standard Rapid Strike and lighter, and so I can just one hand, gangster style or something like that. I don't know. I'm too white for that. So I really want this blaster to work. I've done and looked up everything I possibly can that I could find, and I can't seem to figure out what exactly is wrong with it, because according to everything I looked up, it should be working, but it doesn't. So for now, I'm just going to have to put it on the back burner until I figure out what exactly is wrong. It might just be the guide I was reading was wrong or something like that, and so it's wired backwards somewhere, or I checked all my connections. They should all be pretty good. So I don't know, but for right now, this is going to the back burner, but if I ever figure this out, I'm for sure going to make a video when it's finished and show it off, because I think it's going to be pretty cool. My final Nerf project that I've been working on, which I actually just built today, is the Nerf Demolisher, what I like to call the Nerf Demolisher 1-in-1. Which is basically just the Nerf Demolisher missile, or Nerf Demolisher with the missile removed, which was this piece right here. So basically it was missile, whoosh, missile go away. I replaced it from the bottom, the technical rail from the bottom of a retaliator barrel seen here. This is the rest of it. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to take this and the demolisher missile and attach them, make a barrel attachment, which could be pretty cool. So this isn't entirely done yet. I mean, I still have to put on epoxy putty to fill up all the holes to on the rail part here and make it all smooth and flow together and stuff like that. And then paint it, obviously, and then work on pulling out the couple electronic locks that are left. So the basic rig, so that looks pretty cool. I think it's really nice, and reason why mainly why I did this was because of the fact that I really like the demolisher. I think it's really cool and it feels really nice, stuff like that. But it just felt a bit, the ergonomics were a bit weird with the rocket launcher, and also you have to carry that thing around and it's heavy and stuff like that all the time. So it's much nicer this way, where it's just got a really nice feel to it. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Just to show it off real quick with a few other things on it. So this is the Nerf Demolisher, standard banana mag, and the Nerf Demolisher stock, which is pointless in this thing because it no longer has a missile launcher, but this gives you kind of an idea what it looks like with the stock stuff on it. It's going to sound a little weird, but the one thing about this though is that basically now this is a long barrel strife, which is attached to the strike bolt. So it's basically, you know, there's a size comparison between the two, little SMG, and then you got the big boy rifle up here. And also you got the size comparison right there for sizes. Orange is a little different, but whatever. I mean, it's all going to be painted anyway, so it's all pointless. Also, here's a good example of what I was talking about earlier about removing locks and stuff like that. This doesn't have any locks in it. This has been completely rewired. This is the one stripe I have that's this way. So the jam door is open, no magazine. You know, the trigger works all the time. Stuff like that. Versus this one, no magazine, no trigger. Nothing happening there. I technically still have the lock in place on this one where it won't even pull the trigger if the magazine's in there. So there's no magazine. Like bummer. Now this magazine will work all day. But this is pretty fun. It is pretty easy, honestly. All I did was basically just hot glue it to it. Which this was my first time doing hot glue, so I think this was a good project to do it on, because other projects I've been using other stuff that I had laying around, such as super glue or contact cement, actually mostly. But that contact cement, for some weird reason, works really weird on Nerf applications, so I had to go to something a little more standard like hot glue. Yep, so this is my demolisher, and I think it's pretty fun, and it was pretty simple, but that was kind of the idea.
What? Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm Batman. Obviously not Alex. He made me a sweet helmet. It's pretty cool.
Alright. Hey guys, did you see that? I think Batman was just in here. Anyways, so, as many of you know, I'm a kind of pretty big Batman fan. Probably would have been better if I was wearing a Batman shirt right now. I've been doing Batman as my costume on Halloween for a few years now, and every year I always try to improve it by getting new pieces and buying more new, better stuff. However, I seem to have outstripped the ability to, I seem to have some of the best stuff that you can get, that you can buy, which is really not that great. And so the next thing I had up on my agenda to replace, which was a problem, which was the cowl. I'll probably post a photo that'll show what the cowl I currently was using, which is just a generic Dark Knight one, which is made for huge human heads, so on my tiny little head it doesn't work very well. So I need something that fits my head a little bit better, which is where this little number comes in. Anyways, this is my new Batman helmet, which hopefully you can see wherever I'm holding it. It's pretty cool. I've got the mask made here, and I have the little ears here. I just haven't built another one and attached it, and also I need to rebuild this one, but as you see, it'll be kind of like, my hand's in the way. Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna try and palm it. So it'll be something like that when it's done. That kind of thing, you know. It'll have two of these obviously, but it'll be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about this. It was pretty hard. I had to go through a few different variations to get it to work. This is the third variation. I have a fourth one that I was going to start working on, but I decided I need to kind of just finish this thing so I can move on with more projects. This one was kind of hard because of the fact that the human head is kind of a weird shape to contour to, and so that's why it took me so many different versions. It's made out of, sorry, I was supposed to tell you what it's made out of. It's made out of EVA foam. Basically, this is just like those floor mats that you use in your gym or in your office or whatever, you know, those like foam floor mats or whatever, they're about 1/2 inch thick. That's what this is made out of. It's a really great material to work with. I have heat gun and I have this special contact cement that works with it, and it's pretty good. This is pretty cool. I also have a neck piece along with this, which I forgot to lay out, but so that the whole thing will work together. The neck piece is only on the first version. I haven't even built the second version yet, which just needs to basically just be longer, but the same idea kind of applies. It'll be pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I was going to have it completed for this video, but I'm not sure if I'll complete this by this weekend, so I just figured I'll just show it like this, and then when I actually complete it, although I'm thinking about building an entire batsuit, because if this works, then the rest of the batsuit will be super easy, because as I'm finding out for my other project, the rest of the human body is way easier to contour to. And now for my second foam armor project, which I was doing pretty much when the form of the human head was eluding me for making my bat helmet, which is Mass Effect and 7 armor. This was actually a very interesting and fairly easy project so far, mainly because of the fact that the contours and shapes of the human body are much simpler than that of the human head, which is just flat and round, and it's crazy changing curves and stuff like that, whereas like this, I'm like, human body. It's a semi-cylinder thing that's slightly curved in. Easy peasy. Anyway, so you got the chest piece here. This goes on top of it kind of like that. It'll be more curved to it, obviously, but it's like that, which is pretty cool. And then I've got an ab piece, which this is not the final piece for, because it's obviously just like a trapezoid thing, but that'll just go down here like this. I'm not going to attach it to it because I kind of like to have freedom of movement. I also have a couple other pieces. This is I did a lot of math actually to get this to work, except for the fact that it's not right, so I have to redo the math, mainly because the fact that when you're measuring things, you're like assuming it's going to be basically the same size as that, which is paper, whereas when you're actually cutting it, the actual size of the foam piece, since it's 1/2 inch thick, about 1/4 inch through, that's actually about what your dimensions were before when you turn into a round shape like this. This is the forearm. And so basically it ended up being way too small on the front. So now my hand is through like that, which ain't very good. Also, I'm going to redo this so that it's actually the smooth foam part on the outside, because some Insta 7 armor has it where it's rough on the outside like this, where it's like a little carbon fiber looking thing, and some of it has it on the smooth side, and personally I don't like, I think this looks silly. So I'm just going to throw that down. This is another thing. I decided to go with, I was originally going to go with the standard Mass Effect 2 Mass Effect armor, but I decided to go more with the Mass Effect 3 style, just because I kind of like it more. I like the more aggressive angles and stuff like that. But this is the the side shoulder piece that's kind of like this, and this was just kind of a test. This isn't even what the piece is going to look like actually, but I mean it's kind of this idea type thing. So it'll be like shoulder piece. Get out of here. Yeah, so that's all the stuff that I have that's actually finished. I have various versions of this. Like I think I have one extra version of pretty much all of these things laying around that were all basically failed experiments with the wrong size, or just trying to find my sizes in general, because of the fact that I have to fit it to me and I don't have a model, so I kind of have to like do trial and error with the foam. This obviously is only like 1/3 to 1/4 way done. I still have way more to go, but as you can see, I mean, some of this is kind of the finished-ish product. So that's pretty much all the projects I've completed so far. I'll probably post an overview video of all of these projects, or of each individual project, when I'm actually done with them, so that I can show off kind of what they are and go into more detail about what I did and stuff like that, and show off some making of pictures, assuming I have any, which most of them I actually don't, because I haven't been cataloging most of these things. So I'll be making those probably, and it'll be pretty cool. And I just wanted to say thank you, and see you next time.